I'm going to say this. The Clippers would definitely win the championship if they made this move. It's not too many opportunities out there or too many trades or acquisitions that the Clippers can make to really make their team better, simply because they're really already a good team. They're really already a scary team. They're really already a contender for a championship, just as they've been really the last couple years. But if they made this move and acquired this player somehow from the Memphis Grizzlies, which the reports are saying that are out there where they possibly have a chance to get this player, it would really make things a lot easier for their offense. And I really think they would be so much more just dynamic as an offense, more well-rounded as an offense, I should say. And it won't be any situations where they wouldn't be prepared for anything a team would throw at them. And I'm talking about Tyus Jones for the Memphis Grizzlies. This offseason, Tyus Jones will be available. I do believe there's a great chance he will re-sign, possibly with the Memphis Grizzlies, if he wants to continue on, playing with that team, because that team is very well stacked, and I give him that. But at the same time, he has the option to, make his own decision, basically, because what he's doing in the playoffs right now with Ja Morant hurt the last two games, he's really showing everybody that he is a legit good point guard. And honestly, the way he's playing more like just in 2 games, me watching him with Ja Morant being sidelined against the Warriors, he's showing that he's a starting point guard in this league. And to me, he's always been a starting point guard in this league. He just never really got the notoriety and the noticeability of his game, because he's always played for teams that really wasn't that good. And if you want to say he's a good backup point guard, well, so be it. It doesn't matter. First of all, the Clippers definitely should roll out the red carpet for this guy, because on Clipperholics.com, they talk about this situation in regards to the possibility of having the opportunity to get somebody like him. Now, the only thing that, the site is speaking on in regards to Tyus Jones, if there was a possibility for him to get him, they might have to give up Reggie Jackson. And to me, that's a very, very tough situation to me, because I like Reggie Jackson. I really do. I like what Reggie Jackson brings to the Clippers, of course. And we definitely, love his game. We love his scoring ability and everything like that. But at the same time, what Tyus Jones is showing in the playoffs so far, he can knock down big threes. He can, step in there and run the offense, because he is actually a true point guard. And to be honest with you, that's what the Clippers have been missing. We've talked about this anonymous times. The Clippers' biggest issue is they don't have a true point guard who can run the offense and set them up with better high percentage shots at times, rather than going one-on-one isolation. And if the jump shot is not falling, the Clippers find themselves falling behind in games where they lose some games down the stretch of the waning parts of the game. And whereas they probably will win a lot of those games if they had that solidified point guard to make the right play and get everybody where they need to be and calm the offense down, where other team is trying to make a run and the Clippers are looking to be, a one-dimensional team at that moment, where they play a lot of isolation basketball. And that's the reason why the Clippers sometimes, when you look at them, they play good. They have a great team. Kawhi is my favorite player, and they got the team that can win a championship. But the reason why you saw them a couple of seasons ago when Kawhi was there and everything, they were down 0-2 in every series, because they didn't have that point guard to put everything in perspective. And what I'm saying is Reggie Jackson is a really good piece. And I love the fact that they have Reggie Jackson. I hope they find a way to keep him. But I definitely would love if they were actually found a way to get Tyus Jones, because, the way Tyus Jones is playing, he's probably going to want more money than what the Grizzlies are going to offer him. He's probably going to want more of a role than what the Grizzlies are going to offer him, because a lot of times, Tyus Jones gets some minutes, of course. He plays big minutes for them, but he really believes he could be a starter in this league. And with that being said, you got to look at that. I mean, he can definitely help a team. Do a lot of good things, because he's a really solid point guard, and he really knows situational basketball. We talk about this all the time. I love basketball players with a high IQ, and Tyus Jones has a high IQ for basketball. I've never been a Duke fan. I hated them all my life. I've always been a UNC fan, as long as I can remember. But regardless of that, he did play with Mike Krzyzewski, and Coach K for Duke does, teach his players how to play the game in a way where they have an IQ for basketball. He's always been that type of coach. I will give him that much credit, even though I despise the guy in regards to basketball, nothing personal, but just in regards to basketball, I'm a UNC fan, so that's always how that's going to go. But my point is this. No offense to anybody that's a Duke fan, but I'm just saying that, he comes from a high IQ type of background, and coming into the NBA, I really thought his skill set would be good for a team trying to win a championship because, he doesn't turn the ball over much and he plays within his means. I mean, he only scores 8.7 points, 4.4 assists. He averaged about 20 minutes per game, with the Grizzlies throughout the season. But, looking at him in big moments, I mean, look what he's done in the playoffs so far. I mean, the 2 games that he had to start in Ja Morant's absence, the Grizzlies could have won both games. The last game they did win. They blew them out by like 39. But the game before that, they had a chance to win that game. The Warriors just got lucky at the end, found, the right, they got the luck on their side at the end, which, they came out and found the way to get that victory. But honestly, the Grizzlies were winning that whole time. I mean, they were dominating the whole game, and Tyus Jones was knocking down big shots, and he was not afraid of the moment. In the 2 games that Ja Morant didn't play, Tyus Jones has had 19 points and he scored 21 points. I mean, he shot efficient doing it. I mean, he shot like 44%, 40+% from the field during the regular season, but he shot over the same amount in the playoffs with more pressure on him to be more of the, distributor, scorer, and be the main point guard on the team. And this is what I'm saying. With his skill set, I mean, the Clippers to me, it would almost be a lock that the Clippers would win the championship because they would have somebody finally that could put them in position in regards to their offense, certain times in the game where other teams are going on runs. You got a guy who can knock down a shot at a high clip, who's going to shoot, 35+% from the 3, and he shoots 44+% from the field. So it's like when you look at that and have a point guard like that who doesn't turn the ball over much at all, and a point guard who plays within his means and doesn't try to do too much on the court, and who's definitely a pass first guy, who's not selfish at all, that's exactly what the Clippers need. So to me, if they have an opportunity to get this guy, I would take him over any point guard out there. Definitely, of course, especially what I'm seeing in the playoffs, so far. This dude has really been balling, and this dude is really a certified, legit, solid point guard. He's not really all about the fame and the flash. He's really the type of point guard that the Clippers need, who doesn't mind to be pass first. Because most point guards now, they want to score and put up 25, 30 points a game, and rightfully so, because that's the way the game is played now. A lot of, you see Stephen Curry, he's the ideal point guard that a lot of point guards mimic after. They want to be able to shoot threes, shoot at a high clip, score, and then you see other point guards out there, throughout the years. That's the way it's always been. It's been for a while, so I definitely understand that. But Tyus Jones is the type of point guard that can help you win a championship because he understands his role and he plays it to perfection. And I think Ty Lue would love to have somebody like this guy on the roster because he would definitely instill a lot of his wisdom in Tyus Jones, because Ty Lue was a point guard one time for the Lakers back in the day when they were winning championships. So, I mean, he definitely would relate to a player like this because they played the same position. They pretty much was about the same physical size. And Tyus Jones was a backup point guard, is a backup point guard just like Ty Lue was to Derek Fisher back in the day on the Los Angeles Lakers. So, I mean, the relation would be good. And like I said, Tyus Jones is not a flashy guy. He would come in, be a great locker room guy, and he would definitely filter out their offense and balance it a whole lot more, because sometimes with the Clippers, the isolation basketball that they play a lot of times really hurts their offense, because even though they got Kawhi and PG, when they're off at times, well, Kawhi's not off too much, but when they're off at times, it really hurts their offense because everybody else starts doing the same thing, playing isolation basketball, and they get out of touch and out of rhythm. And sometimes that hurts them in a lot of big games that they played. And you've seen it when they were down 0-2 in a lot of series. When the last time we saw all of them actually together and healthy, you saw them down 0-2 in a couple of series, when they played Dallas and Utah, because that point guard wasn't there to smooth out the offense. And this is the reason why I said this is the biggest part of their offseason offseason. Getting a big man is good. Getting a big man is definitely, something that they should definitely look into. Of course, I mean, that's definitely a notion that they should have. They need more depth in that area. But I mean, to me, their number one situation or number one issue they need to look into is definitely getting that point guard, into that rotation, into that locker room where it can balance out everything they're doing. And I think they really would be unbeatable, because with Kawhi and PG, now you wouldn't have to ask them to average 5-6 assists a game, which I've always said I don't think that's what they should be doing. At most, they should be averaging 2 to 3 at the most. They shouldn't have to average 5 and 6 because they're not point guards. They've never been pass first guys. They're shoot first guys. You see what I'm saying? So, if they give you 5-6 assists a game, that's good. But I feel like the Clippers made a mistake, and Ty Lue is making a mistake having them to basically require them to average that. And the reason why I think it's like that, because they don't have that certified point guard. And this is why I said, if they have a chance to get Tyus Jones, which it looks really, really far right now with a telescope, but at the same time, there is a possible chance, because like I said, the way he's playing right now, he's going to want more of, a better position. He's going to want more minutes maybe, and he's going to want to be more of the focal point on a team, or really, really help a team, rather than just be a backup to Ja Morant, who's getting all the notoriety and all the everything. And rightfully so, he should, because Ja Morant is a superstar in the making. But, when you look at the Memphis Grizzlies, the reason why they play just as good, or maybe some people might think they play better without Ja Morant, because Tyus Jones actually plays the position a lot better, and the offense flows better when he's in there, which is the reason why they beat the Warriors by 39 points and they were up by 55 in that game, because the offense flows better, because Tyus Jones can actually shoot, whereas Ja Morant can't shoot that good. They back off him, and the only thing he do is, he dunks and uses athleticism. But a lot of times that's not what wins championships. That's what puts butts in the seats. That's what, makes you a superstar. And superstars are great, but just because you're a superstar don't mean you're going to win a championship. And that's what it's all about, winning championships. And Tyus Jones is the championship type of point guard, where he's not all flashy, but he's definitely about getting the job done. And that's what the Clippers need. So to me, I'm going to say this. Like I said, you can read it on clipperholics.com. There's a couple other sites out there in regards to this, but I hope it's really not just speculation. I really hope that, it's a little bit more than that. And I really hope the Clippers really go after this guy as much as they can. I would hate for them to lose Reggie Jackson or anything like that, which I don't think they would let go of Reggie Jackson for anything. But at the same time, if they found a way to keep Reggie Jackson and get Tyus Jones, that would be awesome if they were able to do that. But and besides, the Clippers can definitely sell what they have, because they got a championship caliber team. So a lot of people like a Tyus Jones and players like that would love to play for the Clippers, probably because it gives him a chance to win a championship, rather than just, be on a team where they're young and up and coming and they got to go through the process. And because I think the Grizzlies are maybe 2-3 years away from winning a championship. I think they're close, but I still think they're 2 or 3 years away from winning a championship, where the Clippers are right there now. So, I mean, I definitely would hate them to get rid of Reggie Jackson. Got to find a way to keep hot sauce Reggie Jackson, because he's definitely a great player, or a good player, or a good, role player for the Clippers, and he's definitely the third best scorer. So you got to find a way to keep him. But at the same time, if you had an opportunity to get Tyus Jones, you have to find a way to go for that as well, because like I said, you're not going to find many point guards that has his IQ and the way he can play and knock down shots and don't turn the ball over and in control of his game and not selfish at the same time, and can bring you championship quality type basketball or high IQ basketball. You're not going to find many opportunities like that in the NBA right now. Like I said, Malcolm Brogdon and maybe a couple of others. Yeah, you might can get it out of those, but those picks might be a little bit harder to get, possibly, because Tyus Jones, his salary right now is at, I think, 1 million plus, maybe 1.3, 1.4 million. I mean, it's really a very, very minimal contract. So it'd be easier to get a player like him, especially, with the way he plays and, the value that he brings, and you don't have to put that much out there for him. But at the same time, like I said, they need that point guard, because they're putting a lot of pressure on Reggie Jackson. Reggie Jackson's trying to be the point guard and the shooting guard for the Clippers. And it's just too much. It is. I mean, because Reggie Jackson gets tired down part of the season, just like he did, at the end of this season. He started to get tired because you're asking him to play two positions in one, whereas if you get that point guard, it takes more pressure off Reggie. Then when he comes in the game, it's going to allow him to score more and have fresher legs going into the playoffs. This is why I say the Clippers need that point guard. So hopefully they find a way to go out there and get him. Hopefully it is Tyus Jones. That would be the best pickup they can actually get in the offseason. That would be like a really good pickup for them, you know what I'm saying, in regards to their championship aspirations. Hopefully they find a way to keep 99% to 100% of their pieces that they already have and build on what they have and try to go out there and contend for a championship. But hey, that's my take on everything. Check out all the other videos, as I always say. And hey, Khaliis out.